Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. Today we've got Trader Cobb with us. How you going, Trader Cobb?
Yeah, good guys. I'm well, thanks, mate. Cheers.
I guess today everyone is just still bombarding us with questions on Twitter and Facebook and messages just saying what's going on with the market. You know, what are you bearish now? Where's this sit? What's the sentiment like? Is this the same as other corrections in the past? For me, that I've been watching this since 2012. So, do you want to start off, mate? What are you seeing? And do you want me to bring up a daily chart, or what do you want people to look at?
Yeah, look, for just sort of a sort of bigger picture sort of viewpoint. I mean, one of the things with this market, as opposed to traditional markets, is if you look at, say, the S&P 500 chart right now, everyone's talking about the crash, so to speak, on Friday, which was just a big sell-off. I mean, it's not a crash at all. It's if you have a look at the daily, the weekly, and the monthly charts, it's quite overextended from those averages. The area that I call the cradle, which is in and around that 10 and 20 period moving average. Now, naturally, markets will pull back to their equilibrium point, a point of good value. When we have, like, when you compare the chart to a traditional market like the S&P 500, even it's overextended right now. But if you look at Bitcoin from on a monthly, where it went to up to around 20,000 and where it is now, that zone, that cradle zone is between sort of 7,000 and 5,000. That's the area we're looking at there, and that's the logical place if it's to be a monthly pullback. So with these massive astronomical gains that we get in crypto, we also have to be aware that there are also pullbacks, because we do need to get back to an equilibrium point. I think we're just on the way back to that now. For me, Bitcoin today, in this moment right now, if I look over my left shoulder just quickly, we're just about to break the low of the daily candle. That daily candle is bearish. If we break the low of that daily candle, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see us print fresh lows within this daily downtrend. That's my take right now.
Okay, that's a big call. Yeah, and a lot of people are starting to look at 6,000 even now, I'm seeing on social media. So,
yeah.
I mean, the thing that I'm looking at again is that the volume is still reasonably small. So it just shows me that a lot of people that bought on the way up, there's actually not that many people selling on the way down. So, yes, the low volume is actually causing a significant price drop. And another thing I just want to mention quickly is that tweet I put out about the top 100 Bitcoin addresses. So they're the big boys, they're the whales. They're increasing their amount. Now, they're pretty dormant. They don't really do any trading or anything. A lot of those haven't changed their balances in years. But for the first time, or rarely, they're actually increasing their stores of... So it just shows you that the people that are in this early, the people that believe in this and that have got more to lose than anyone, are buying more. And they're not panicking and selling. I know probably you and I and a lot of our followers and that have spent all their capital, so they've been dollar cost averaging, and a lot of them didn't think we were going to go this low. And personally, I didn't think we were going to get this low, particularly if we go to 6,000. I just think it's such an overreaction because of the constant media articles we've had every second day. It feels like there's another round of bad news, and markets need a reason to turn around. I know you talk about trends. It's not just going to do a sharp V-shaped recovery and start going higher for no reason. So maybe this SEC, CFTC hearing that we're waiting for, which is 6th of Feb, 10 a.m. US time. So what's that? That's going to be about midnight for us here in Australia. But maybe that's what the market's waiting for, and that if it's bad news, that could be a really big flush, a big knee-jerk reaction lower. And if it's good news, that's probably the excuse the market's looking for to have that V-shaped recovery begin. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, mate, I think what you're saying, I mean, it makes perfect sense to me. I'm a subscriber to that theory. And look, I mean, my experience is in traditional markets. So, I mean, I've been trading crypto for 6-7 months, but I've been trading traditional markets for 11 years. So, I mean, there's two things to factor into my response here. One is what you said about the big Bitcoin holders increasing their position, not decreasing, and they are quite dormant and inactive. And that sort of says to me that, these are what you would consider, our institutional money, if that's the right. I mean, because we haven't got masses of institutional money in the market just yet, these whales hold the big chunks, the bigger wallet holdings. They are our institutional investors. Now, if they dump, we're done. They're not. They're buying, and that's because they're cool heads. They've been there. They've done that. They understand what this is. And I know in my circle, and I know I speak to you a lot, Alex, and a number of other people that I know that have been in the space for a lot longer than me, that know what they're doing. We're seeing this as a really wonderful opportunity to essentially research, to find the projects that you're after, that you believe in, that are going to be good, and get the positions on that you like. Now, this meet tomorrow, February 6th, it's not often that we get a specified date for such a large announcement or a news item in crypto. It usually just sort of comes out, and it's more often than not negative than it is positive. Now, in traditional markets, we get the employment reports, non-farm payrolls, we get the GDP. We know when these things are coming, and with that, it allows us to be prepared. For example, if I was trading, say, foreign exchange, and I knew that there was a large news announcement coming up, I wouldn't be looking to open any positions leading into that news announcement. Okay, always managing my risk. It's all about management of risk for me when I'm trading, and how to maintain what you've got as opposed to try and make more. If you can keep what you've got, then you've got half a chance. But with tomorrow's announcement, we do have a lot of people now that are sitting there going, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? And the market is sort of poised and waiting for that outcome. Now, there's one or two things that's going to happen. One is that we're going to get some clarity around something similar to what regulation might look like. And however that looks, it'll be positive, because there is institutional money that is waiting to come in, as we both know, because we've been approached. But those conversations are happening all around the world right now. If they can get a little bit of a, once you start pushing, once a cruise ship starts moving, you know what direction it's going. Until it moves, you really have no idea. This meeting tomorrow could be the catalyst for that little nudge for us to start to gain some momentum towards that regulation space. And regulation is good for institutional money, and effectively institutional money is what we need to boost this market, give it some legitimacy, and to continue to move on. Now, for me, talking about these windows of trading opportunity, I've told my members now, I've told most people in Nuggets, in your member group, mate, that between now and that whatever happens on that Feb 6, I'm not looking to trade, except for if Bitcoin breaks down through the lows, most recent lows, and I might look for a very short-term short. But I won't be in any trades. And keep in mind, there's a difference between investing and trading. I won't be in any leveraged short-term trades in and around that news, because I don't know what's going to happen, and because of that equates to risk for me. So I'm really hoping that whatever the lows are that we reach today are going to be our lows, and that and this news comes out positive. That's what I really love to see. But there's two things I know in markets: they can and will go lower, they can and will go higher. Don't question them.
There's been some glimmers of better performers than others. So Ethereum's held up amazingly well compared to how far Bitcoin's fallen. A lot of projects that got overhyped and don't have working products have really seen the biggest falls. The rubber's hit the road, as I say, and they don't have a lot to fall back on. And then obviously Litecoin, I'll just bring up that chart. Where were we the other day? From the 3rd of Feb, we had a fairly big rally. So 50, 70% there at one stage on that announcement that the Litecoin Foundation and Charlie Lee are partnering up. They've got more and more methods. So LitePay was one option. This hashtag Pay with Litecoin is trending. And then another announcement again a few hours later. Litecoin is really positioning itself to become that sort of payment cryptocurrency, which we like. And obviously they're always working with Bitcoin. They don't like to work against each other. But there's glimmers of hope there. And we just need that to become the majority rather than minority. And then things can start to, sentiment can change from a few little good projects having good sentiment. It can start to drag everything up with it. But at the moment, I'll put out those couple of polls, and a lot of people are neutral. A lot of people I'm staying out of this. A lot of people are bearish. So there's not a clear direction in sentiment, and I think no one wants to be first. But once it starts moving, no one wants to be last either. So any final thoughts, mate?
Yeah, I think the final thoughts are just around the emotional side of it. So from my point of view, there's like I said, there's two ways I look at markets. I'm an investor in the space, big time. I've put considerable funds into the space because I believe in it. I've done the research and I continue to research the projects that I like. Nugget, you've been a big source of information on that, so thank you. But I mean, if you're looking to be a trader, you need to get in there and understand what you're trying to do. Now's not the time, in my view, for me and my people. We're not looking to be doing lots of trading right now. No, we're looking to work on our plans, work on educating ourselves more in the sense of learning those rules, going through different areas of the programs and whatnot. And also on the investment side, read up on the projects that we haven't had the time to do. Because right now, as a trader, I'm more than happy to be sitting on my hands and putting my investment cap on and researching those projects. And look, that's what I've been putting out there to my membership. And that's what I know that I'm personally doing, because I anything that I say or do, I back myself. I'm sort of just commentating my actions and how I go about doing things. But yeah, I haven't sold a single token. I've been buying, I've not been selling. And it comes back to, again, in these periods when people are their most emotional, this is where the opportunity lies. I mean, Warren Buffett says, be fearful when people are greedy and be greedy when people are fearful. Right now, people are fearful, and there's not a great deal of logic out there. You've used this explanation quite a few times, or this example a few times, Nugget, when we were on that tour, where, if Facebook falls 30% in the day, does the whole market fall 30% in the day? No. Well, why not? Because Facebook has got nothing to do with Qantas. So why are they both falling? The only thing they have in common is that people that use Facebook also fly with Qantas. Well, that's what we've got to look at the moment in our token economics and what they're actually doing. Just because Bitcoin's falling and the market as a sector is falling, it doesn't mean that any of these projects at the moment have anything remotely flawed with them. It's just this knee-jerk reaction. It's this fear. It's this young market not having the smarts that seasoned professionals that have been doing this for a long time, like traditional markets have, and they're just getting scared, and it's shaking them out. And that, for me, represents a massive, massive, massive opportunity right now. So I'm putting my time and focus into my membership and also into doing a lot of research on the projects that I think are going to be around, not just in 3 months, but in 12 months, 24 months, 36 months, and beyond. That's my going on it.
Cool. Okay, mate. Well, let's keep an eye on this chart. Let's see if we do make those fresh lows. I'll just go back to the 5-minute one last time. So I've had a little bit of a bounce here, double bottom. We'll see if they want to print those fresh lows as you suggested. But taking a longer term time frame, if you've still got money on the sidelines and you can dollar cost average, then things are 60, 70% cheaper than what they were at the peak. So thanks for chatting with us today, mate. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, mate. Cheers, guys. Bye.